Welcome to our class, Living Kabbalah, with me, my co-teacher. So we are in the week called Bo. The week of the reading that we do is the week of Bo. We're in a month of Aquarius, which is all about freedom, all about change, all about transformation, all about people. So it's a very powerful month because we started a new era, as the astrologers are teaching us, that we started a new era called really the age of Aquarius, because Saturn and Jupiter conjuncted in Aquarius, giving us a lot of Aquarius energy. And we're in the age of Aquarius, and it's the month of Aquarius. So all about being free, all about breaking the old and moving to new ways of thinking, new ways of acting, everything that has to do with new. And the portion is really interesting. We'll cover the physical aspect of the portion, and then we'll study what the spiritual significance is and what we can take away this week practically, how we can grow, how we can develop, how we can upgrade ourselves. Because that's what we can do every single week. Every single week, you can upgrade yourself. And just by being in this class, that's what we're doing also. By being in this class, we also upgrade our consciousness, our energy, our emotions, our way of dealing with life. Everything that that happens to you, you can always upgrade it to a better version of it. So let's first set our intention. Let's do a meditation where we want to close our eyes and be present in where we are, be present in our bodies. Acknowledge everything that's happening, acknowledge everything that we are experiencing. Bring whatever life transformations you're going through to you right now. Invite the light force of the Creator to this experience. Invite the light to guide us, to give us new revelations, enlightenment, energy, motivation, drive, desire to change, to be better versions of ourselves, to be beacons of light. And we're in a very special time right now with our country and the whole world going through a very new experience. So we want to dedicate this class also to the world, to provide our reality, our world, the people in it, our soul families with light, with consciousness, with spiritual sustenance, for everyone to make the right decisions, right choices in their life, to bring a sense of peace, love, acceptance. Okay, so the physical portion, let's talk about the physical portion, and we are in the weeks called Shovavim. We're still in this process, and Shovavim is the first letter of the 6 portions that we're in right now, the first 6 portions in the book of Exodus, or Shemot as it's called in Hebrew. And the word, it actually, if you put the first 6 letters, they spell out a word, and it's Shovavim, meaning naughty. And it's all the any time when we were acting in a way that was childish and irresponsible and not really caring for consequences and not really thinking about the big picture. Any of those moments are coming back to us, where we can really elevate them, or we can elevate our consciousness, and whatever influenced us to act in that behavior, we can transform it now. And we want to always remember that we're not creating something new. In spirituality and Kabbalistic perspective, you're not creating something new. You're just recreating, bringing back who you were already, the real version of you. And in addition, you can make upgrades in that also, right? You can make even better version of yourself. And through this time, we're going to have experiences. We're going to have instances, moments when we're going to face similar challenges that we need to correct. Correcting means elevation of consciousness, meaning elevating your beliefs, right? Everything in your life is based on your beliefs. Everything that is happening around you, all the experiences in your life are based on your beliefs, especially the subconscious beliefs. And usually the subconscious beliefs are the ones that we base on experiences. So something happens to me, and then I form a subconscious belief, whatever it might be. Some are very good, that bring positivity to our life, and some don't serve us. Some push away good things in our life. So we want to make sure that we know what they are. The good ones we want to amplify. The ones that don't serve us, we want to remove and completely not be attached to them at all, whatsoever. So in the 1% story, it's the story of Moses, the leader of Israelites, going to Pharaoh and telling him to let the people go, right? As the famous song goes, let my people go. And the Pharaoh, very interestingly, the creator tells Moses, I'm going to harden his heart and he's not going to let you go until I do 10 plagues. And that's what happens. And in this week's portion, we have the top 3 plagues. And the top 3 plagues are locusts, the insect of locust, the plague of darkness, one of the scariest ones, and the murdering of the firstborn, the death of all the firstborns of Egypt. So they are connecting to Binah, Chokhmah, and Keter. And in order to remove a klipa, which is a negative system or a negative belief, they have to be addressed on all levels, especially on the top 3. So this week is very strongly connected with subconscious beliefs, with negative subconscious beliefs that don't serve us. And the good question is, how do you discover them, right? How do you discover negative beliefs, right? It's very interesting. It's not an easy process because it's something that's a part of you and you're kind of used to it. So it's not just, you can just like, oh, that's my negative belief, I want to get rid of it. No, it's so ingrained in you that you feel like it's part of you already. Now, also in the 1% story is that Israelites actually leave Egypt. The holiday of Passover is happening in this week's portion. Now, holiday of Passover is the day when almost 3 million people left the country, and they were able to practice something that they believed is true. It's the first time that a very large group of people started to believe in the force of the Creator, in the force of the light. And they leave Egypt, and they do also a very interesting thing in the portion. The Creator tells the Israelites to borrow expensive vessels of gold and silver from Egyptians, which is a very interesting thing. Why is it mentioned? There's another secret there. But the real story is between Moses, which represents our soul, our higher selves, the Creator, and Pharaoh, which represents our ego. Very simply, it's just our ego. The ego is basically the maker, the producer of false beliefs. He's the one that produces them, sells it to us, and we usually buy it, accept it, and store it in our subconscious. And in every instance, besides the last one, when the Creator tells Moses that I'm going to send a plague and it's going to make them realize how great I am, there's 2 things in it. So first of all, he says that I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart. And that's what usually happens to our ego. When a lot of times when we are offered change, we don't necessarily take it right away. We start to have a stubborn heart, quote unquote. It's an expression of Kabbalists, when someone has a stubborn heart, when you are being told that this is not good for you, you need to let it go. But we still hold on to it. We still practice the stubborn heart of keeping whatever it is that we believe. No, I'm still gonna have it. Until there's so much chaos that we are, we're willing to let it go already. We're willing to say that, you know what, that's it. It just doesn't serve me, doesn't work, and I really need to let it go. So this is the energy of this week. The energy of this week is total freedom, total breakage of bondage, of whatever didn't serve us. We become completely free. One very simple way of finding out your false beliefs is writing a set of goals that you want to achieve. Write the wildest things that you want to have. Right? And if you want, you can do this either now or after the class. Write down the wildest things that you want to accomplish. The wildest, right? Like this is the top of your dreams. Well, and make it interesting, make a few of them. So you say you have these dreams, you have these goals. If you want to take some time to write them. And again, you want to be really creative, really go deep of what will satisfy. Not just, don't be simple with just, I'm gonna make a lot of money. That's a little bit more specific. Be more specific. How you will be successful. What does it mean for you to be successful? What does it mean for you to be truly free? Also, write things that you want to achieve within yourself, like what kind of a person you want to be. For example, you want to wake up at 6 a.m. and start your day with meditation, exercise, and breathing work. Amazing. Write that. Right? You want to achieve certain things in your career, and you want to buy a house and go for vacations, etc. You want to meet your soulmate. You want to be in a divine life, divine soulmate relationship. Write that. You want to inspire people. You want to be a beacon of energy, beacon of light. That's a beautiful desire to have. Write that. So make sure that it's kind of really connected with something that you feel. Okay. And you can make this list as long as you want. Now, the reason why we're making this list is because when we start to talk about this, when we start to imagine it, when we start to go through this list of, oh, that's what I want to achieve. Oh, that would be amazing to own a house in the Bahamas. Just one example, right? I want to own a house in Bahamas, and then I want to go there for vacation. Or I want to be an inspirational speaker, and I want to do that as much, I want to inspire people. So when you start to talk about it, when you start to tell people about it, when you start to express it more and more, what's going to start to happen is your subconscious is going to start battling you. And your subconscious is going to start telling you, you can't do that because, many different reasons, whatever it might be. You don't deserve it. None of your family ever made it. Why should you? You have many different experiences in the past of why it didn't happen. So why should it happen now to you? So the things that will come up is your pharaoh, is your limiting beliefs, is your false beliefs. Now, this is essential because in spirituality, you need to know your darkness. You need to know your opponent. You need to know your ego in order to overcome it. The idea is great. Yes, ego is the biggest obstacle in our life. You are your biggest limitation in our life. These are great theoretical ideas. To make it more practical, you need to know exactly what your ego is telling you. You need to know exactly what your ego is dictating to you of why you can't have it. Because that's the actual reason why you don't have those things. Okay? It's not because the world is not fair. It's not because God doesn't want to give it to you. It's not none of those things. That's all not true. The Creator does want to give it to you. The Creator wants you to have an amazing experience. That's why you were created. It's only to remove those beliefs. And also, those are very important because that's actually how we earn it, right? How we earn light. How we earn light and blessings in our life is by overcoming them. So a very simple way is that to write down whatever you want, keep saying it to yourself that you are achieving it, and then see what comes up. See what kind of things will tell you why you can't have it, why you shouldn't have it, etc. It's very individual to every single one of us. But the formula is clear, right? I hope. If you have questions during the class, by the way, feel free to ask and to make it more clear for us. Now, also the things that will come up, they are very important. because there's many different ways of removing them and transforming them. One way is to make positive affirmations that are the opposite of whatever will come to you. So for example, if it will say you don't deserve it, or you're not worthy, or you just made a lot of mistakes already, or just you're just not going to have it, and that's it. You want to make a personal affirmation that will be the opposite of that. That will be the total opposite of that. That will be the total opposite, that will tell you that you are worthy. Basically, you're going to use the wording of whatever your pharaoh, whatever your ego is telling you, and make it the opposite. Say that I am worthy. I am getting it. I am happy when I wake up early in the morning. I am happy when people confront me. I am happy when I overcome my challenges, and I'm overcoming my challenges every single day, etc., and so forth. So we want to start reprogramming ourselves on a very deep level, really removing our pharaoh from influencing our life. That's what we were created for, right? That's what the wisdom of Kabbalah teaches us, that we were created to receive all the abundance and blessings that you can ever dream of, right? And if there's something that's stopping us from there, that's meant to be removed. So that's a very simple way of operating and achieving those things that we want to achieve in terms of achieving our dreams, right? Now, it's also actually good to tell that to people around you. You know, some people say, oh, I don't want to say what I'm dreaming of. I don't want to say what I want to achieve, because I don't want people's negative energy and, etc., to influence it. However, if something is meant for you, it's never going to be stopped. If something is meant for you to come into your life, nothing in this world will stop it from happening. For example, one of the biggest lessons is lessons of soulmates. It says that there is nothing in this world that is powerful enough to stop bringing two souls that are meant to be together. Nothing, absolutely nothing. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It has so much energy of light in that process that there is no way that it can ever be stopped. It's a beautiful teaching. I think it's very inspiring. So for example, if you're talking about relationships, you should talk about it, because nothing will stop it from happening. No influence of any person, not your friends, parents, etc. Nothing can stop that, right? So that's a very important idea to keep. And in general, when something is meant for you to come, it will come to you. It's not going to be stopped. In general, just that's a way of spiritual rule. That's also good to remember, that if it's hard for you to let go of something, right? If it's hard for you to say, I let go of this because it's just not working for me and it's better for me to let go. That's the lesson of letting go, is that when I let go, I know that if it's meant for me, it will come back to me, no matter what. No matter what, it will come back to me, whatever it might be, from the most physical to the most spiritual thing. Now, the story, it's very inspiring, actually, because it's Moses. Moses really represents our soul, right? It never represents this leader that lived God knows when. It makes really not so much difference. It just represents the energy of the creator and energy of our soul. And he does something this week, even in the beginning sentence of this week. It says Bo el Paro. Now, Bo el Paro, it's phrased, the phrasing that is used in the Old Testament, the Torah, it's not accidental. Every single letter plays a role. And the way it's written like, basically the creator is like, hey, I'm here, come here. He's telling him that I'm with Pharaoh, come here. Meaning he's telling us that I am with the negativity, I am with the ego. Don't try to avoid it. Don't try to run from it. Don't try to be this self-righteous human being that's always right, that never makes mistakes, that's just like, oh, only good and nothing bad, because that's not actually true. The light, the creator, is actually with the negativity. He's always next to the opponent. Because if we go back to Kabbalah 1, we remember that the point of the opponent is to help us be closer to the light, to help us earn the light. So don't be afraid of your negativity. Don't be afraid of your opponent. We want to, the other side of this is a little bit simpler, is also to discover your opponent. And I always recommend to everyone, to all my students, to write a profile of your opponent. How does your opponent work? What kind of emotions does he tell you to feel? What kind of thoughts does he tell you to think? What kind of actions does he tell you to think? What is the profile of my opponent? He's as individual as our fingerprint, completely unique, completely unique. And he operates on all levels. He operates from the conscious, from the thought process, to your emotional state, to your physical, right? In all levels. That's his job. He has to work and operate on all levels. And if you don't discover him, if you don't identify him, it's almost like having, God forbid, having mice in your house and you never seeing it. Like all of a sudden food disappears, you have, this negativity, but, you're like, where does it come from? Why is it happening to me? In a complete oblivion. Now, some of the deepest aspects of the opponent is he loves when we feel guilt, when we feel shame, when we feel unworthiness, when we feel anger, extreme pride, when we feel like we're the only ones and we're the total creator of our life, and the creator doesn't do anything. We don't even believe in the creator, not asking for help, not having kind of like naivety about this sense of simplicity. A lot of times the opponent tells us, this is too complicated, this is too simple, it sounds too easy. It doesn't work like that. It's much more complicated. You're not going to change. It's never going to change. You've been like this forever. You've been like this for lifetimes. It's not going to change just because you're going to all of a sudden, do these meditations and think positive and that's it. No, don't fall into that. He wants you to be the same. The opponent doesn't like change, doesn't like transformation. Now, what's the easiest way to always remember how you can change? Is very simple, is to remember that you are the creator of yourself. You are in constant state of creating yourself. Me and you, every single person on this planet, we're constantly creating ourselves, constantly. Every single moment of our life, we're constantly creating ourselves. Meaning, you're never a set being. If someone tells you that you are too loud, too angry, too shy, too prideful, etc., you can change it instantaneously. But you can be whatever you want to be. There's no reason for you to be locked in any way of thinking or being at all whatsoever. I don't know if you've heard Michael Berg's lecture, which was very beautiful, and I feel like it's always good to review it after. He mentioned an incredible concept where the moment you need to do something, for example, in the beginning of the day, you need to realize that it's all on you. It's all in your hands. From asking the light to help you, to making sure everything goes the right way, you need to do your 200% to make sure everything goes right. And then the follow-up is also that once it's done, you need to understand that I had nothing to do with that at all whatsoever. So imagine you had a very important project that you worked on, and you need to, in the beginning of a project, you need to understand that I have to do everything. I have to absolutely do everything in order to make this project happen and to manifest this project. Once it's done, with total conviction, completely deep in your conscious, in your heart, say that it was all the creator. I barely had anything to do. Even if I slept through the whole time, it would still happen and the result would be the same. It's a little bit of a bipolar kind of like way of thinking, that you are in two places at the same time. Which one is it? And it's actually both. That's the idea of that also that we read in the Zohar called, in the 10 luminous emanations, Mati Velamati, meaning here and not here. You want to be in two places at the same time. Never in a set space. Is the creator here as much as the creator was and is in the endless? Yes. Is the creator also missing here? Yes. Both, two at the same time. Mati Velamati. Now, and everything that I feel very strongly connected to right now is, it says that astrologically this month is the hardest month of the whole year. 2021, the hardest month is January. It's the most, with the most transits, the most conjunctions, like a lot of stuff is happening. If we are influenced by the our solar system. So a lot of conflicts and hits and kind of harshness is going to happen in this month. And the blessing of the sign of Aquarius is that, it's all about the world, all about other people. And we can use that in a way that we want to. It's something that I spoke on Sunday about, is that we all have this spiritual family that we're connected to. And each and every single person is the provider of whatever your spiritual family is. It could be, again, it could be from a minimum of 10,000 people to millions of people. And the more of a light generator you are, the bigger your family starts to become. The bigger your family is growing, and more people want to join that kind of quote unquote your spiritual family. And the moment I realize it, and whenever I decide, I want to broadcast energy of unconditional love, positivity, into the whole world, into my spiritual family, at least. The moment I do that, the moment I decide that, it happens instantaneously. There's no way for that to be stopped. And the more responsibility I take also, I love this lesson also from Rabbi Yitzhak Luria. It says that he had a student, and Rabbi Yitzhak Luria told the student, your father, when he does his morning meditations, provides the world, 2/3 of the world, with sustenance. Now, what does that mean? That means that the moment his father did morning meditations, his morning connections, 2/3 of the world just all of a sudden start to feel good. That's what spiritual sustenance means. Spiritual sustenance is when I'm like, wow, I just feel so elevated today. I'm in such a good mood today. Everything is so much easier for me. Now, it's actually those days, and we can imagine you have a group of people, a group of souls that you do that for, right? It's a wild idea, right? It's a very actually true idea of what quantum physics is teaching us, right? What quantum physics is teaching us is that particles on a subatomic level, they operate not on the way of Newtonian rules, like, right? Or that heavy objects have to fall, right? That they have to be present here only now. But it's teaching us that there's no time, space, and motion really in the way that we see it. So in that thinking, when I think of this group of people to provide them with energy, I'm actually fueling them with light, fueling them with energy. The reason why we a lot of times wake up and feel great is because somebody in a more base of our soul group is providing us with a lot of light, right? So, and when we don't, we want to switch that. We want to, a lot of people, when they wake up in not the greatest mood and not the greatest feeling, a little depressed, a little sad, a little overwhelmed, a little just too much, they start to label it as bad, that this is a bad experience, that, I shouldn't be feeling this. That's another trick of the opponent. There's absolutely nothing wrong with feeling a certain feeling. I still decide what I'm going to do with it. I still decide, am I going to fall into it? Am I going to let this feeling dictate how I'm going to be the rest of the day, or will I still choose? And it's a whole lesson of emotions, right? That emotions is not the end of all of how you are or who you are. It's much bigger than that. You're much more advanced than that. And it's never to ignore it, right? Like Aquarius is like to do, right? The sign of Aquarius is famous for for kind of ignorance of emotions, right? We're totally, saying, oh, it doesn't matter how I feel. It makes no difference. They just go forward with total ignorance of that. That's why sometimes it's a good combo for them to be with a sign of, water signs, because water signs are all about emotions and being overly present and under emotions. So it kind of balances the two. But we want to be both, acknowledging it and yet not allowing it to fully drown us in those states. So this week is the self-discovery of the opponent, is the discovery, or what are the biggest limiting beliefs that we have? What's the biggest limiting belief we have? How do you have it? How do you find it? By speaking your goals, by having your goals, by having them loud in your space, loud in your face, kind of, and saying, oh, I'm gonna be influencing billions of people in this world. Billions of people are gonna elevate their consciousness because of me. So start to think, okay, so what comes up? Sometimes you feel great about it. And then at other times you might get a thought, who do you think you are? You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. You're not whatever, etc. and so forth, right? And the more you discover them, the better. Don't be shy. Don't be thinking that, oh, I should stay away from that. No, the more of those false beliefs you're going to discover, the better. So we talked about that. How to discover our beliefs, also how to counter them, right? To write the total opposite of that. And always, whenever you make an affirmation or you want to have a positive belief, it has to be in present tense, right? The subconscious does not understand future. Future doesn't exist on your subconscious. Future is very, subconscious is very quantum oriented. So that's why the more you study quantum, the more you understand how your subconscious works. And the subconscious doesn't have future tense. You cannot say, I will have, I will be, I will get, I will achieve. That doesn't exist in your subconscious or emotional state. Your emotional state is right now. So whenever you're making a positive affirmation, it has to be in the present tense. I am doing this right now. I am having a great group of people around me that love me, support me, and bring me light. Okay? I am achieving my goals. I am meeting my soulmate, constantly meeting my soulmate, etc. So basically always being in the present tense, never in the future, never that I will have. I will achieve, I will become. There's none of that. It's either right now or never, okay? And what's interesting is subconscious belief is 84,000 times more powerful than your conscious belief, which is incredible. And another huge limiting emotion that really limits us is the sense of resentment, right? It's a little bit difficult to discover something. No, it's easy. It's easy to discover it, but it's a very limiting thing to have resentment. And you can have resentment to anything. For example, I used to really dislike waking up early in the morning, right? And I had resentment to waking up early in the morning. You can have resentment towards being tired, as crazy as it sounds. So you don't like being tired, but also you have resentment towards it. So it's like a double concealment, so like, it's like you're really like covered up in that space. Now, whenever you have something that is like bringing you a lot of pain, kind of like an experience that is making you feel like, God forbid somebody's sick, or a tragedy or something negative happens, that experience can make us feel resentment towards, and you have resentment towards obviously people, situations, but the biggest ones that can limit you is the one towards yourself and towards the creator, because those are the two most fundamental relationships you can have, right? And that you have constantly is the relationship with yourself, the one that you've had for the longest time, and also with the creator. And you don't want to keep those, obviously. You don't want to keep any of that resentment. That's why we use the 72 names for unconditional love to be diffusing any of that energy and instead filling us up with unconditional love, the true essence of creator. And that's why, again, it's also very essential to, on a daily basis, to practice kindness and compassion towards yourself. Make sure you do things that make you feel good in the morning, starting from the morning, that you kind of training yourself. Okay, this is what it means to take care of myself. This is what it means to be compassionate towards myself. So that's how I can be towards other people. Okay. So those are something that we want to remove, and again, you can do that just by simply meditating on the 72 names. There's the 72 names of God that connects us to unconditional love. The moment I meditate on it, it connects me to unconditional love and diffuses any form of hatred that I might have. So what about the borrowing of vessels? So this is another important part in this week's portion, is where the Creator is asking us to borrow vessels. And borrowing vessels, vessel means obviously how much light you can reveal, how much light you're desiring, right? And also vessel, in terms of how strong your vessel is how well you are in terms of manifesting that desire, right? You can have a very strong vessel, which means that once you have that goal, you wake up every day knowing that you're achieving it, knowing that you're getting closer to it, and acting upon it, right? And not allowing anything to interfere between you and your goal. And a weaker vessel is just, like, it's one of my favorite quotes from one of the teachers. Is like, who wants to be a billionaire? And everybody's like, oh, I do. Of course, everybody wants to be, right? Okay, so what do you do about it? Not so much. So that's how you measure what kind of a vessel you have, right? But if you have a true desire, a true vessel, you're going to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. What we can do this week, what we can achieve is to ask to have a bigger desire, a desire that doesn't get satisfied with just, whatever it is that we have right now. With just, for example, for me, it was a big revelation. I love wisdom. That's one of my things that I absolutely love. I love to study. I love to learn more. I love to understand more about consciousness. And at one point, I was like, I know already so much. I'm so kind of full of wisdom and so full of consciousness. And then I realized that, there's a beautiful teaching from Rabbi Yitzhak Luria that he says, his student says that what he learned from his teacher is like a drop in the ocean, and then he goes on comparing that what he has is literally an atom from the ocean of what his teacher had. And then I realized that my wisdom is so obviously not connected to all the wisdom. And I started to meditate that I want to have more wisdom, and all of a sudden more consciousness. I started to read things in the Zohar that I never read before. I started to read, understand things better. So when you are set, when you are content, that's a space that the Creator doesn't want us to be, and we don't want to be in a space of being content, that everything is kind of set, everything is great. You want to have a very big desire. Aquarius, as a sign, have some of the biggest desires in the zodiac. Incredible desires. So much desire for everything. Spiritual, physical, 1%, emotional, relationship, constant desire. So much desire to have more, and more. Never satisfied almost. And so that's why there's so many Aquarius that achieve such greatness. And again, like to mention Oprah, Ellen, Steve Jobs, so many ingenious people that are really philanthropic also, that have really, really big desires. So this never happens in the stories of the whole Bible. In the Torah, it never happens that the Creator tells Israelites to, this is quote, to borrow vessels. And what's also funny is whenever you're going to bring it back, you're leaving the country. You're saying you're exiting the country. Why are you borrowing? You're never going to bring it back. right? It's like, can I borrow some sugar, right? When people borrow sugar or salt or something, nobody returns salt in I'll give you a teaspoon back, right? It's kind of a similar thing. But the main lesson is to dream bigger, to ask for a bigger vessel, not to settle for the small things, not to settle for just, oh, I just want, I don't know if one of my students is here that mentioned something, as she is, but you know who you are. She said something yesterday. She said, I want a boyfriend. So I want a boyfriend. I'm like, what do you want a boyfriend for? You want a soulmate? Why do you just want someone to, be close to, right? You want to have a true, fulfilling relationship. That's what you want, right? You don't just want a good job. You don't just want a good deal. You want a continuous flow. You want it to be endless. You want it to be continuous. And this is probably the biggest thing for me personally, is to ask for a bigger vessel. To ask for a vessel that is not satisfied with whatever it is that you have right now, or whatever it is that you dreamed of yesterday. Dream of something so much bigger, so much wilder. You are a student of the Kabbalah Center. You are a student of, the more you ingrain it in yourself, you're connected to the greatest spiritual forces. There's almost nothing that can stop you in achieving your dreams. Nothing. You have all the tools. If you set your goal on something, if you set your desire on something, you can accomplish it. You will accomplish it. But the problem is we ask for very little. The problem is we ask for very little. We ask not for everything, but we settle for something very small. And that's actually how opponent works sometimes. He gives us a little bit. He gives us a little taste. He's like, oh, you hungry? Here's a little delicious chip for you. Enjoy it. And you're like, oh my God, I got a chip. This is so yummy. Oh my God. Why are you settling for it? Ask for everything. Ask for a steak and ask, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously I'm speaking metaphorically, but don't settle just for the small things. And there's a great story from Rav Ashlag, the founder of the Kabbalah Center, a very saintly soul. He's a righteous human being who's available to help us at any time. It's actually very interesting. There's different kinds of righteous souls, or tzaddikim. Some are very personal, that we might feel a connection to, and some are very, what Michael Berg said once, they're very quantum. So like the soul of Moses is a quantum soul. It's anytime somebody wants to change and transform, the soul of Moses can come in and assist them. And same thing with Rav Ashlag. Rav Ashlag is a quantum soul, quantum righteous soul that can come in to anyone. It's like the righteous soul of humanity. And one of his students came to him and said, teacher, like, what do I need to change? What do I need to grow in? What do I need to transform? And he said, the biggest thing for almost anyone in this world is to have a bigger desire, to have a desire that, that I want everything in life, not to settle for small things. And he said, you know what, but I don't even have a desire to have a bigger desire. He said, okay, you know what? So ask to have a bigger desire. You understand? So it's start from wherever you are right now. Don't just think, oh, I don't have a desire to ask for more. So ask a desire to have a bigger desire. From wherever level you are, ask the Creator to give you a bigger desire. Because the bigger desire you're going to have, the more the Creator can reveal His light through you. If you're settling for less, if you're settling for 1% of light, that's what you're going to get. If you're satisfied with that. If I'm going to keep asking for more, for 100%, 200, 1,000%, I'm going to be receiving that. You understand? So it's all about your consciousness. It's all about what my intentions and settings are. Let's see, I think someone Leo wrote about. That's amazing. That's so funny. See, there's alignment in the universe, right? One of the students, Leah, she said she attended a vision board seminar yesterday, what the vision board seminar was saying, and what I'm saying right now is very close to, very similar. So visualization, visualizing what I want. Oh, you're showing it. Nice. So visualization, seeing it, believing it, saying it, thinking it, feeling it. It's time when we want to let go of the old mindset of the Capricorns. When, the old mindset of a Capricorn is maybe not. The karmic police, the karmic officer, the one that the IRS of the universe that asks you and make sure that you earn every single penny, every single iota of light you have to earn. That time is gone. That time is finished. Right now, it's like the time of Aquarius. The energy of light is just flowing into this universe. How much of a bucket do you have to catch all that light? How much of the energy, how much of a vessel do you have to catch all that light for you? So it's not the time of small desires. Aquarius is not the time of small desire. Aquarius is all about big picture, wanting everything, breaking the old, breaking the rules, not settling for less. I want everything. I want everything. I want fulfillment in every area of my life, in my wisdom, in my consciousness, in my emotions, in my relationships, in my work, in my friends, in my home, in my country, everything. I want a bigger desire. The smaller desire I have, it will be satisfied eventually, but that's what you're going to have. You're going to have a little bit of light, a little bit of light. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Is that what you're going to be satisfied with? It's a major blockage if we do. And we all might have that. And eventually the system will push us to want more. The system will push you, me, every single one of us, because that's what we ask the Creator, to want everything, not to settle just for a little bit. Just for a little bit of light, just a little bit of, just a little bit, just give me a little bit of light, a little bit of satisfaction. That's all I want, that's all I need. I don't need more. That's not how the universe, that's not what we truly are. We're infinite desires. If you go and connect to your real, deep, true self, the amount of desire you have is endless. Endless amount of desire. That's what the vessel is. The vessel is never satisfied with a little bit of light. You wanna use this time like awakening call, like a wake up, like a shock experience. And like, oh my God, I want so much more, so much more. Very good way to identify a Kabbalah Center student's desires, how much Zohar they study. There's nothing more powerful of a tool that we have in the Kabbalah Center than the power of a Zohar. And there's a few other ones, but the power of a Zohar is the most powerful. How much time do you study? How much time do you invest in connecting with the light of a Zohar? Very simple. How much time, and now compare it. How much time do you spend on social media? How much time do you spend on working or just answering emails, working on projects? How much time do you spend on talking to people, etc.? Imagine you would spend that time to connect to the light of the Zohar. How would your life would be completely different. I guarantee it. You would have a bigger desire. You would have miracles happen to you continuously. You would want to give to people, etc. Your energy would be completely different, because that's what the Zohar does. It changes us on an energetic level, not just on a 1% simple level. So very easy way to measure how much desire I have right now is how much time I invest in my personal study with a book of the Zohar. Whatever it might be. You might be comfortable scanning it. You might be comfortable with scanning and reading. You might be comfortable just holding it. But how much time do you spend meditating with this most important tool that the wisdom of Kabbalah offers us? Right? Very simple. So again, we want to literally roar with desire. Roar with desire. We want to be like lions. There's one Kabbalist that told the students, you don't have real desire. You're not roaring with desire. You're not like screaming, I want more. I want this. I want this. We want to bring that back. We want to bring this incredible, unsatiated desire back to us and function on it on a constant basis. Doesn't matter how tired I am. Doesn't matter. I'm still craving so much more light. So much more light. So, and a big desire is a huge blessing. It's a real blessing. One of the biggest blessings that a person can experience is a big desire. That's why it's also a beautiful teaching that, when Moses just starts his journey with Israelites, when he comes to Pharaoh and he tells them, listen, God sent me, and he says, let my people go. And Pharaoh says, what? You're not going anywhere. Double the work, double the time of they need to, double the quota, everything. Make it harder for them. Do everything more difficult for them. And Moses is like, to the creator, he's like, what's going on? Like, you asked me to bring them out. Look at the result. It got worse. Now, what's the lesson in that? The lesson is that when things don't go our way, it's actually a sign that it might be the opponent stopping us from even venturing in that direction. So when it's difficult on a new journey or a new path, don't immediately disregard it and say, oh, it's not good, it's not working. It's actually a very good sign. The Rav and Karen always used to say that, oh, you started a new project and it's not going so good? I like it. Keep doing it. It means it's a good sign. Don't stop. Don't stop. Our natural tendency is like, oh, it's not working. You know what? I had a very important project in my life that I had to work on. And the first day, it was, it was hard to process how many things did not go right. I was just blown away. It was impressive of how many things. The creativity of that experience was mind blowing. And then ask another teacher to ask for an opinion, like what's going. He says, when a lot of light is about to be revealed, you better be ready to go through some experiences and some challenges, because the other side is going to prevent you from achieving that. So really, really, the big outcome of this week, of this class, is to not be satisfied with how much desire we have. Not to be satisfied with how much desire we have. People that have a strong desire achieve what they want. Get it, whatever it is that they want to achieve. So don't be satisfied with just a little bit of light, just a little bit of positivity, just a little bit. Constantly want more. That's why the question of how does it get any better is so powerful, right? Because even if something good happens, you're like, I'm not satisfied. How does it get any better? How does it become even better? How does this situation even get? I'm not satisfied. I want more. I also remember once, Karen Berg was an incredible example of that. Incredible example of that. I remember once we used to do conference calls with all the teachers, and once Yuda Berg went to a very special place, first time in Poland, and you know, it was very special for everyone. We were so impressed that he went to this holy site. And when Karen got on the phone, she's like, amazing, great, okay, what's next? What's next? What are we doing next? What are we doing next? Never being like, oh my God, you did such a great thing, you know, never. Always constantly pushing the envelope, constantly pushing the boundaries, always asking, what's next? What's next for me? What's next? Just being with that idea, just being with this idea that I want a bigger desire, just to think about it, you know, it's just to ask. And that's the main message. We'll do a meditation now where we're going to ask the Creator to give us a bigger desire, to have such a strong, you know, an ultimate desire is actually can be compared to a black point, that a black dot, like not a black hole, but like a black dot that connects to everything. And it's so powerful that it wants everything, and at the same time it pushes everything away, almost like a diamond, you know, like a diamond that is such a strong structure that it attracts, right? It probably has a very strong gravitational pull, and at the same time it reflects over light, right? So two in the same time. So let's do our meditation. Meditation is very simple. Again, the more you practice it, the better you become at it. It's not something that people are just born with. It's practice makes perfect. You want to be relaxed. You can sit, stand, lie down, whatever is comfortable for you, but you do want to enter into the mode of being relaxed on a very deep level. And a great way to do that is to concentrate your breathing with your abdomen. Do not use your shoulders, your chest, your upper body for breathing at all whatsoever. Completely use just your abdomen and your diaphragm. And then you want to center your consciousness in your heart and really be present in your body. Really feel your body touching your clothes. the hairs on your body. Really be present. And then you want to let go of everything. Just imagine letting go of completely everything in your life. Breaking away from the shells that limit us and start to elevate towards the Creator. And the space of the Creator is very simple. Creator is simple. The light is simple. You want to imagine and surround yourself with the tingling, beautiful light of the Creator. It's a pearl-like energy, sparkling like snow. And you want to feel surrounded by this positive energy around you. Supportive, positive energy. And have a little experience. How do you feel next to the Creator? How do you feel next to the light? Do you feel supported? Do you feel like a child? Do you feel simple? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel happy and joyful? Do you feel like it's an entity? Do you feel the support of this energy on a constant basis? And whatever you feel that doesn't serve you, that is not true, let it go. Let those emotions go. It's time to let go. You're ready to let go. You're ready to move on. You're ready to be the best version of yourself. You're ready to be happy. You're ready to do the best things for yourself. And you want to ask the Creator to give you this tremendous sense and feeling of certainty and absolute faith in the Creator. To know every single moment, to remember it as often as you can. The Creator is with me. Creator was always with me, always is with me, and always will be with me. If you want that download, say yes. With this consciousness, you realize that nothing is ever too difficult, nothing is ever too dramatic, nothing is ever too complicated. As Kabbalists teach us, it's more of just a game. It's all a fun and positive experience. The more I allow it to be, the more it will be. You want to amplify your understanding, your feeling and belief that you are constantly supported by the light, by all the armies of angels of the Creator, all the righteous souls, all the positive forces are fighting and supporting us all the time, nonstop. If you want to have that feeling, also say yes. And last, we can ask the Creator to amplify our desire. Amplify our desire, amplify our vessel to receive and our vessel to share. So both of our vessels, our main functions of operation, are amplified on all levels. On levels of consciousness, on level of thoughts, on level of emotions, on level of physicality, to give us this incredible diamond-like vessel that wants everything and is able to reflect everything at the same time. So if you want to ask and receive these amplifications of your vessels through Creator's unconditional love, say yes. And accept this new vessels to come in, these new levels of operation, these new ways of function. It's really a different way of operating. Letting go of the stagnant old energy and constantly being in the new. Always being in the new, always being in a certainty, always being in an upbeat mode. In a way where you support yourself, where you take yourself as a priority. You respect yourself, you honor yourself. You do things that will be good for you in the long term. That are truly good for you. Not just for the instant. So if you want that ability, if you want to have the ability to identify and do and know what is truly good for me in the long term and what doesn't serve me in the long term, also it's a download. So if you want that, say yes. And before we close, you want to send a wave of appreciation. A wave of appreciation to the Creator, to everyone that ever helped us be where we are right now. Every single person, every single mechanism, every single person, everything that helped us be where we are right now. We want to send them energy of appreciation, energy of love. And we want to send unconditional love to the whole world, to the planet, to the world, to make these transitions easy, smooth, joyful, merciful, and positive. And you want to envision yourself again surrounded by the light. Rinse yourself in this light. Fill yourself up with this light of the Creator. And when you're ready, open your eyes. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to see you all next week. We have a midnight study at Thursday at midnight, whoever wants to. It's a very powerful study, more like it's a quicker, it's not a class, it's more of a meditation. If you're interested, we'll send a link or contact me directly. Thank you again. Wishing you an amazing week, a proactive, a powerful week. Ask yourself good questions. How is it getting me better? How can I be greater today? Listen to the class again and have an amazing week. Lots of love, everyone. Thank you.